There we go. Okay, one more clap. Oh, double clap. That's going to have 2 peaks on it.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's going to make it more complex to actually synchronize it.
It's going to be hard as fuck. All right.
So the whole Melissa Milano deal.
Oh, Alyssa Milano. Is it Melissa Milano or Alyssa Milano?
I don't know. Spell with that.
I have no fucking idea.
I think it's Alyssa, but she spells it funny with like a L-Y.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So anyways...
Does it even matter at this point?
I don't think so. The majority of the story of what's going on with her, it's basically... what was it? She was kind of telling the women... I guess that the whole situation is what's happening in Alabama. I believe it had something to do with the actual, like, shutting down all sex for all females, like
abortion clinic.
It's more or less something that's similar base to that. Give me 1 second. It was...
Well, basically, so like the Alabama thing happened, and then she called for a sex strike.
Sex strike, yes.
And basically, there was like a bunch of backlash here. There was a bunch of backlash because she called for a sex strike, which is like, more prohibitions on women, I guess. And it's like, well, why are we gonna like, just not have sex at all? Like, why are we going to like,
because like
disadvantage ourselves even more.
Even the whole concept with it too, which is kind of ironic in a sense, just because the party that she was trying to go against, it's like the conservative versus like I guess like Democrats in this case, or like the liberals versus
and then
whatever. It backfired because like a lot of like the actual conservative people was like, yeah, like that's the whole point. Like, don't have sex when it's not necessary.
Exactly.
You're not trying to like procreate, like hold off on it. And I don't know. They wouldn't went in detail, and like they were like praising her. So I don't know. It's like
the Republicans, the pro or anti-abortion people were praising her, and they were like, "Yeah, you liberals, stop having sex and let us good conservative people make the babies." And I was like, "Oh man, how did you screw that up so much?" And then did you read the interview with her on the afterwards?
No. I didn't even know they actually had an interview afterwards because I thought it was just a whole big backlash tweet situation.
Oh yeah, no, like the whole thing. I feel like the whole thing blew up, and then I think after it blew up, somebody did an interview with her, and they were basically like, so like how do you expect this to work? Like, how long is it going to last for? And she's like, oh well, I don't know. Like, I don't know. She didn't seem too sure of it, and I was like, okay, well.
Are you sure it was her who actually like blasted the tweet itself, or it could have just been like maybe like spare the moment type dealio, like let me get a few drinks of wine in me and just
I don't know if it was like totally realized when she did it, so whatever.
I don't know. Like it's kind of funny. I just feel like it's kind of like that edgier type of humor that might have
A for effort.
Yeah, I guess she got publicity from it, so any publicity is good publicity, I suppose. So
true. Yeah, I don't know. I hope that works out well for them. But I think the better thing to do would just be to boycott Alabama altogether.
Oh, God.
Just everybody leave, like, stop buying Alabama things, and just like if you don't agree with it, just leave. Just like leave all of the people who want to be there in Alabama, and just forget Alabama as a place. Just get out.
But some of the best like incestuary jokes come from Alabama. How are you gonna explain that? How are you gonna fix that gap?
Yeah. They also did it in like Missouri too, right? Like this is happening all over the place, but Alabama's the worst because
Missouri's closer. I'm kind of concerned.
Yeah. Oh well. What else were we gonna talk about? Oh, did you have a topic too, or were we just gonna like move on to talking about James Charles?
Oh yeah, we can definitely talk about James Charles. We'll get to the Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, we'll talk about Arnold later. Good old Arnie. So the James Charles thing, like, what do you know about it?
For the majority piece that I had, I think if it's the same guy that I'm actually thinking about, he kind of he was, I guess, like brought in like the whole makeup industry. This is the same guy, right? And after he kind of turned his back on this, like, I think a female companion named like Heidi.
Toddy.
I was like Heidi or Tati or whatever. But yeah, and so they had a little bit of a falling out that happened there, and she kind of outs him in a sense of like his like sexual like predator behavior and everything is going on with that, and plus like the whole bullshit going back and forth of talking about her endorsements of her is supposed to sell her product, and he's going behind her back and selling other people's product and everything as well with it, like vitamins or something like that.
Yeah, what he did apparently was like he refused to like endorse her product and like promote it because like he said he had a deal with somebody and whatever, so he couldn't, and then like he literally like promoted the same product but a different brand, and then she felt betrayed, and then she like released this video. And then apparently now she's backtracking on it a little bit. She's like, why are people doing this? Like, it's so terrible.
Well, I think she might be backtracking just because it's probably putting her in like an odd situation, like a predicament.
Blew up.
Yeah, just because she didn't expect it to go this big, like this viral, I guess. But the makeup industry is apparently like this whole nother platform versus what everyone who would like expected. Because like it was the same situation. Like I watched numerous of videos where it was like they were discussing the situation of the makeup industry versus as like video games industry versus as like normal streamlined media, like the PewDiePie situation, the whole like anti-Semitic stuff that happened with there, and how he like gained followers versus as losing as much as like I guess the music people, or not the music, but the makeup people, where they were just like plummeted with their stocks and all of their stuff from like their product lostments, and like they're removing them from shelves and everything too, and just
that's kind of weird. But like if you think about it on more of like a social level, like a community level.
Yeah.
Like when you make like anti-Semitic jokes, you're not isolating anybody. Yeah. It's almost like inviting those kind of people to come and join your group now. So like that's probably why PewDiePie gained so many followers, even though he didn't want that.
Yeah.
But then in the makeup industry, people like when you lose, like you're not like inviting anybody else to come. It's already like really niche as it is, right? So
that could be the reason.
And it's
why
not like merging two cultures
may happen.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just found that rather interesting. It's definitely a good perspective on that. I guess I never really thought of the people that he could be endearing, where then like, oh hey, now we're going to support him because of what his beliefs are. Where he's trying to obviously make a clear statement that this isn't what I believe in.
Yeah,
it's just more or less just kind of
just like happens
off,
anyways.
like an off joke, but. Yeah. It's all part of like his like sense of humor and like comedy with it. And like I think that's what a lot of people struggle with, to try and understand between one versus the other. It's just like, oh, you can't be racist and have a good joke, or just none of that altogether. It's like, oh, it's a too touchy subject, but it's comedy at the end of the day. It's meant to be funny. Like everyone's supposed to.
I don't even think he was like trying to be like, I think he just like made an off-color joke. Like, and then
like it was. I guess it was like a continuous. Like,
it happened. It happened a few times, and then you had like the shootings and stuff, and like they were like saying to subscribe to PewDiePie. And, I don't know. That's terrible.
That was too much. Yeah,
I feel bad for him. Like that wasn't his fault at all. Like they're just like using him as a slogan. Yeah, he's like the poster boy for it. Yeah, it's like a way for them to get publicity, right? Because then he has to address it to 96 million people. So it's like,
can you imagine have to actually do that? Like if you got put in that situation where it's just like, I don't know what to tell you guys. Like you have your own free will of doing whatever you want, and yet.
Yeah, but he can't like isolate himself.
Yeah, that's exactly
it. He
He
has to own it, like take responsibility for it.
Yeah, there's a portion of responsibility building from that, but then when does it get to the point where it's just like, it has nothing to do with me, man? It's just like, you guys are your own thing now.
Yeah.
Or is it just now that you know that you're getting in that type of heteric like spotlight, that it's just like, you know what you're getting into. This is what's going to happen. You got to expect this for what's going to happen.
I feel like he's like beyond the point of like being able to make that choice now. Even like he just like, if they blame him for it, then he did it, kind of thing. Like because that's kind of his attitude towards it. He makes jokes now about like the media, just like blaming him for everything, and he's like, oh, watch out for those media people, like whoever. Like he's always like making fun of them or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, that's awesome.
But we definitely got a lot of sidetracked onto your
James Charles.
Yeah.
So according to you, his subscribers are like going back up now. Like
they're actually started going back up. I think they were going up by, it was just like tens of thousands. Like it wasn't too much, but it was quite a pleat from the
millions.
3 million.
Yeah, it was close to like
an
3,
average. Yeah,
probably more than that. The last I checked, it was 3.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I think it was like as of like the following week or whatever, when the whole big charade was going on.
This happened less than a week ago.
Yeah. It was like midweek, but it was like day by day, like something else.
It was like 500,000 one day, and then like 2 million the next day, and then another 500,000.
Man, there's just like
happened like 3 days. That's crazy though.
Like happening with.
That means that like 3 million people like actively pay attention to this shit and have like an opinion about it. Like,
or
I don't have an opinion about it. I just think it's funny. That's why I'm talking about it.
It's just like one Filipino sitting there and just like turning off all the bots.
Oh, all the bots. Yeah. The bot army they all got taken out of James Charles and then over to Tati because like her subscribers skyrocketed, right? Like she got like 4 or 5 million. Actually, she's over 10 million now. I think she was at 5.
Yeah, she was at 5 and like doubled. I guess what they were saying.
Yeah,
so like
that's nuts, man. Hey, I wish that would happen to me. I got like 50 subscribers. I'm looking for a solid 100. Let's see what we can do. Let's break that. Let's crack open that 100. There we go.
But yeah, so forth and so forth. And she was just basically saying like, this kid was like just two-faced and all of this. And like, man, the only thing is too, like, the thing that gets me is like he's so young and he's making so much money. He's 19 years old in this industry.
Dope.
And
man, I was 19. I was like jobless. Looking for a job. I was like, I just want to pay tuition.
Sitting in my bedroom waiting for puberty to hit.
Yeah, at 19.
It'll come any day. But yeah. So anyways, with that, so that I guess that was kind of like the main points of what really happened. And like I'm not sure about any type of further backlash. And then like other industries kind of jumped in on the bandwagon, just like let's hate this guy.
Think about all the money moving around here.
Oh yeah, well because like also too he's
big advertisement.
All of his advertisements are pulling off his shelf. There's like another big YouTuber that kind of like has a whole streamline with the makeup industry and everything too. Like he's like one of the popular ones. Like I can't remember the name of him. But he's like right up there, and he was like going after him, saying like, "Oh, you're never coming over to my house again. This is why."
Oh, Jeffree Star.
Yes, it's Star.
Yeah,
yes.
Well, because Jeffree Star had like a lot of interactions too, and so Jeffree Star was basically just like backing up what Tati said, saying like, "You're disgusting." Blah blah. I don't understand how like when the ice breaks, like when this like
it's just like it
all happened. Like it's like all of this information was already there for such a long period of time, and nobody said anything until he advertised the wrong vitamins.
Yeah, that's exactly. But like here's the thing too with that. It's like once a little nick happens in like that type of career, then you have just like a pile of crap just gets thrown on you from like every other which angle.
Because look at with PewDiePie too, right? He had his own YouTube Red series. He had like all this stuff, and then like the anti-Semitism stuff came out, and they dropped him for everything. And now even when he has like really popular videos, they don't show up and recommend it at all. Like,
Well, I guess that's part of like the algorithm now. They have.
Well, yeah, they program the algorithm though. Number one rule is like don't promote him. Yeah. And it's like okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I guess even coming from that as well, they're talking about too of the whole. Did you hear about like the whole like sex scandals and stuff like that was happening where he was trying to like influence, I guess like questionable impressionable people, like who people are like it was the same guy. The
Jeffree.
No,
James Charles.
James Charles. Yeah. How he was kind of taking advantage of his popularity or his status that he has, and he was kind of like putting himself on straight men at the time.
He was trying to like convince people who were like not entirely sure of their sexuality in like a young age or whatever. He was trying to tell them that they were straight. Yeah. And this one guy, I saw this video. I think it was on the Philip DeFranco show, but this one guy, he posted a video. He's like, "Yo, I have the screenshots here. Like, this is the conversation." And the guy was like, "You're gay as hell or whatever. Like, don't deny it. You're straight." And like he was like, I was kind of vulnerable, but like I'm straight.
Wasn't it like the I guess it was like some sort of. It was the same waiter or something like that they had at the party. Or they went to like a gala or something.
Apparently, it was just anybody, like any straight guys that he found attractive.
But yeah, in general, he was just kind of pushing himself on all these other people, and I guess that kind of really what started all of it. And once this whole vitamin situation went down, she just got hurt that he was like berating and like making fun of this other product.
Yeah, like on top of everything else, he's promoting the wrong vitamins. Bro, if you ever promote somebody else's vitamins over my vitamins, I swear to God, I will tell them. I'll tell everybody all of the shit that you do to vulnerable straight men.
Oh God. Man, it's I don't know. It's something else, man.
Yeah. Well, that's what happened.
Hey, that's
apparently. So yeah. So let's talk about Arnie.
Oh my God, yes. So apparently he was doing. I don't even know if it was like some sort of signing or like a. Just. I don't even know where the spotlight is from. I don't know why he went down to like South Africa. I'm not sure if they're opening up some sort of like new regimen or sports or something like that down there because obviously he has this whole weightlifting body career, like years and years going through it. So he's just there for some sort of support or just showing off. But so anyways, he was doing some autographs, some interviews and everything, and all of a sudden, like abruptly, he just kind of gets drop kicked in the back But the thing is, like, he's such a big guy. Like, what is he, like 70 or something like that? Like, he's
he's got to be in his like late 60s,
yeah,
70s. He's not in his 80s yet.
Yeah, definitely not 80s, but I think it's like probably like mid 70s, or not mid, probably like early 70s, I would assume. But
71.
There you go.
71 years old.
And he's still like a big guy. Like, he's still in like impeccable shape.
Oh yeah, dude. Guy's jacked. He just like still works out all the time.
So we have like this like little petite South African guy trying to drop kick him. He succeeded. He like hits his back, but like, he takes like 2 steps forwards, and that was just it.
He
like,
did. Yeah, he like just kind of like
it just
caught his balance. Basically,
it just barely nudged him. And like, there's so many like POV style like videos of like that being posted everywhere now.
Man.
And like, I don't know, it's so funny too, just because he was actually like, he actually posted this on his own Twitter feed and everything too, just to kind of get a laugh about it. Like, I don't know what happened with it, but he had his own bodyguard there, which his bodyguard literally just kind of laid on the guy afterwards. But I don't know, and it was just like, who would dropkick Arnold Schwarzenegger? Like, let's be honest here. Like, how big are your balls to do that?
It's not even that, right? Like, if you look at Arnie, like, sure, if I wanted to drop kick Arnold Schwarzenegger and like I'm in the middle of a field, or I'm just like out somewhere, and Arnold Schwarzenegger on his lonesome is just like walking by, and his back is facing me, and he's not paying attention at all, and I'm like, all right, now's my chance. Drop kick Arnold Schwarzenegger. Sweet, get up, run away. That'd be my plan if that's how I was going to do it, right? But Arnold Schwarzenegger is surrounded by like 50 dudes who are like double Arnold Schwarzenegger's size.
And like, he's a big guy, man.
And
like,
this guy is like, he's got like little skinny arms. He's a small dude, and he just falls to the ground. And then the bodyguards all just pile on.
Oh my God, yeah.
And like, the bodyguards are like questioning themselves, right? They're like, should I beat the crap out of this guy, or like, they pinned him down, right? And you can see the one arm go up or something, and like, it looks like he's about to punch him. And I think he like held himself, because he's like, one hit kill, right? It'd be like the mountain on like,
oh my God, versus the Red Viper.
Like, it just like nuts. Like, that guy was huge. That guy was absolutely gigantic, and he just like lunged onto the guy. Like, the guy was done before he even started.
Like, it's when he like lays on him, like, that's just it. Like, you don't even see the guy laying on the ground anymore.
It's just like an overcast of like this big like heap of muscles. Like, oh man. Yeah, that's
like, I don't even know like what the cause were. I'm sure like it happened less than like a few hours ago or whatnot.
That was today?
Yes, it was today.
Oh
like,
my
less
God,
than 5
poor
hours
Arnie.
ago.
I hope like those 2 little footprints on his back are healing up real good.
Just sell the shirt.
Yeah, sell the shirt.
There you go. But yeah, like, because it's like some endorsement that he was kind of doing out there in South Africa anyways, and I don't know if there's like a reason behind it. Like, he's not in the political game anymore itself, so there's no pros and cons of, you can't question, why you're here. He's just a celebrity at this point of being in the wrong place at the wrong time, I guess, now, and just someone trying to get a free endorsement from him or something. Just say, publicity, here's my opportunity.
Well, like, nobody's going to know who the hell that person is. Like, you barely see their face at all. Like, most of the pictures are like potato quality. Yeah. But yeah, I just can't believe that that Arnie got back kicked. Like, he's 71 years old. Yeah. Like, you could drop kick so many other people. Why Arnold Schwarzenegger? Like, the one good politician, I guess. Like, Arnold, he's just such a stand-up guy. Like, what did he do? Why do you want to kick him?
Yeah.
I don't know. Unless you were like sparring, I guess. I don't know.
Like, that's just it. And like, it just did next to nothing, because he just turns around and he's just like, what was that? Like, a child ran into me or something? Because like, you have child's like doing skip rope and everything beside him and everything too. Because like, he's only there to kind of, I'm not sure if he like paid for this or whatnot, but like paid for this, like, I don't know if it's like a camp or something, but I know it's just like a big
camp too. What if I wonder how old that? Like, I wonder if it was a child.
But yeah, there's a bunch of child. No,
was it like a grown man who knew what they were doing?
It was definitely a conscious adult here.
I've never fully thought through anything in my life.
I don't know. It was just
that's nuts.
Spontaneous and sporadic, I guess, and just.
South African man uses dropkick on Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I think that's what all the
headlines It wasn't very effective.
Not effective.
Arnold, okay, so I'm pretty sure, but he didn't even look backwards, right? No. Like, he lunged forward, and then he was in the middle of a conversation, right?
I think he was like doing a sign.
And then he just like gets up. He doesn't even like feel for his back or anything. He just gets up and then he keeps doing what he's doing. Like, cool, man. That's cool.
I don't know.
You.
I wonder if that like he has like ongoing frequency issues where it's just like random people because.
Well, he got egged, right? You saw him. Did you see him when he got egged?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, it showed up in like a lot of like political threads because it's like this is like a true politician or whatever.
Well, I know like a lot of them always get like floured and everything too. So
oh no, he just got egged.
Okay.
He got egged. Somebody smashed an egg on him, and he took his jacket off. And I think he got hit again. And he was given an interview.
Took
and
that shirt off.
It was like nothing happened. No, I don't think he took the shirt off, but it's like nothing happened to him. And then later on in the conversation, like you got people there protesting and stuff. He was doing an appearance while he was governor.
Yeah.
And at the end of his interview, he's like, you know what? I love this country. I love democracy. I love that people can come out here and express themselves.
Yeah.
And he mentioned the eggs, and he's like, yeah. He's like, it's this type of freedom that I fight for, so people can come out and throw eggs and express their opinions or whatever. And like he was just saying there, like most people would have just got like you see the New Zealand guy who. Got egged and then he like went and attacked the kid.
Oh yeah,
did you see that? Yeah. So that's what that one guy does. And then Arnold Schwarzenegger, on the other hand, he says like, "I love this country. It's so great that I can get egged here because people don't like me."
But
it's great.
Okay, let's take into consideration of this. Like, is it just like a sense of like kind of like classical conditioning itself, which he knows right off the bat he's a bigger guy versus it's like an angry, short, little chubby politician who's just like. Going to lash out at somebody who if you throw something at him or Arnold Schwarzenegger where he's been training his entire life to kind of stay like cool, calm, and collective.
True.
And like I wonder if that has something to do with the play too. Plus also too he's trying to do his whole political movement and everything too. It wouldn't look good if he
seems genuine.
Body slam somebody.
Yeah. No, he seems genuine, right? Like it didn't hurt him. Like and in reality, right? If in the long term, right? Like if you get hit in the head with an egg, like you're gonna be pissed off. That's gonna be your first instinct, right? But like when you think about it for 5 seconds. Like, are you really that mad? Especially if you're like in front of a bunch of people and like giving a speech or whatever, doing an interview. Like,
that big of a
if it didn't like if it wasn't like 100-pound egg that just knocked you out, like, would you really be that? Like, is there anything to really be that upset about? Probably not, right? And like he chose how to handle that situation, and it just seemed really genuine, right? And he always like that's his public face, right? But he's always like that. He's always like, I'm so happy to be here.
Person.
Yeah, he seems really cool.
Someone just has like an ostrich egg and just smash it.
I'd be pretty peeved if I got hit by an egg like at all, but the bigger the egg, the worse. Yeah. If I got hit with like a little mini egg, I'd be like, yeah, whatever.
It's like the pain or something alone would probably subside itself.
Would there be pain? I think it'd be like getting hit in the head with a water balloon.
I don't know.
As long as it popped right away, it'd be all right. But
like maybe like a bee sting or something like that. But like I would just be more.
You got an egg with like a 1/4-inch thick fucking shell, and you get smacked in the head with it.
The egg doesn't even.
It doesn't crack until your head hits the ground, and then it like crushes on top of you. And
I think I'd just be more like angry about like the mess that it leaves, just like the yolk and just.
You'd have like egg shrapnel all fucking
just look nasty,
just coming out of your head.
And let alone if you're in California, it's just cooking while you're giving your presentation.
You wake up later, like barely breathe. There's like a cooked egg on top of your face. Like, oh man, trust the yolk.
It becomes sentient.
That's dope. So yeah. Arnie. So Game of Thrones. I know you've been watching.
Yes. Oh my god.
I've been watching. And final episode is tomorrow. I can't believe I have to like go to work and then come home before. I gotta work tomorrow morning.
Oh no, but you're gonna be done.
No, I'll be done. Okay. I wouldn't be at work while it was airing live. Like somebody's gonna be flying like a blimp around with like spoilers on it at the end of the episode. Yeah, no, I'm not about that. Yeah.
But yeah, man, I don't know. Like, I don't even know what to expect. Like, I have kind of like a few ideas where they're going with the stories and stuff, and plus, it's been, I guess, plastered all over the place too. Like, even George R. R. Martin was basically stating that this is kind of very, very similar of how I'm going to be actually ending my book series and everything too with it. Because like I guess he still has 2 more books remaining.
Yeah. Well, no,
but
no, it's 2. It's 6 and 7.
Yeah.
They're never going to come out.
Oh.
I guarantee you, George R. R. Martin dies, and like he's just taking forever, right? He has people back up, right? But like George R. R. Martin dies, and now it's fully into the backup's hands. About 15 hours later, the last book comes out.
That's like legit the like first like.
That's how it's gonna happen.
YouTube search basically, YouTube and Google search is like, oh, what if he dies and everything too? But like, it's so funny because like the first like impression that he gets, because like this is an ongoing interview question with him. It's like, what if you die before you get your final books out? All he does is just do the same thing over and over, just like shoots his middle finger. He's like, oh, I tell him to go like F off or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Hopefully he sticks around enough to kind of get him done, because I don't know, how long do you think it would take to like write something like that? Like 5 years per book or something?
Well, no, the thing about George R. R. Martin is, and like they've done, who's the other guy? Stephen King. Stephen King like pumps out like a really great book that a bunch of people like every couple of weeks or something, right? Or I don't know. I've never read Stephen King, but George R. R. Martin has like a different process. Like he'll just write and write and write, but he'll throw it out. Like if it's not good, if he doesn't like it, he'll just throw it out. And like he's like a perfectionist, so like if it's not perfect, then he just scraps the whole thing, starts over again. He also one of the things about George R. R. Martin's writing is like he tends to focus on insignificant things that aren't like he'll be describing a cup on a table for like 3 pages, and like nobody.
What's the significance of this cup?
There was a gleam in the cup, and it shone blue in the light. And like 15 minutes later, it'll be like still going on about a cup.
Because even going with like his like I guess like his thought process and ideas and too like that. Because one of the things that I always get like stuck on, and when I'm like reading his books, it's just like a single man wrote this. Like it's not like he had like an elaborate team or anything like that. Like just think about the actual complex of like each scenario. This is taking place at this specific time, and this is happening here.
Oh yeah,
like, you have to create this like whole vast world.
It's like you have to remember everything that's happening in a world.
Exactly, and so
time.
Like give him the benefit of the doubt when he's actually taking these times to actually write these books, because like there's so much little detail that he talked about. Let's say in book 1, he's going to make it relevant now, like let's say potentially in like book 6 or 7 or anything like that.
Well, here we get this though. So like I understand your point, and I get it.
Yeah.
But the first book came out. He started writing in like late 80s, early 90s.
Oh yeah, they've been
right?
quite a while.
And like he like just spewed out like all these books like in the beginning, right? Yeah. And then at some point it just like slowed down, and then his books got popular, and then he released the 5th one. Right?
That's when the whole HBO kind of kicked
and then
up,
it's been like 10 years, like or not. I don't know. It's been like a long time since the last book came out, and like he's been like gleaning in his like popularity. Like you know he's like a celebrity now.
Well, because I think they keep him kind of intact with the whole story and kind of keep him like with the continuity of the show versus the books, just to make sure that they're following appropriate guidelines with
he's like I don't know if he's like a producer on the show, but you know they're working on content that doesn't exist right now, so they have to be talking to him at some level.
I think it's kind of like a it's not so much of a producer but like an associate or whatnot, because like he doesn't I don't think have any really
he doesn't produce.
It's just
other than that, he wrote the damn story.
It's like, is this kind of the correct guidelines of our characters?
Yeah, he's got to have a credit on the show at some level. Yeah. Like, I don't know what it would be, but yeah, you're
right.
But,
jumping into it, like, so, I don't know, what do you think of the series so far? Like, coming from, I guess, season 8 alone versus as, how did it hold up to continuity versus how is it holding up to now? Is it rushed?
Well, okay, so I really liked, like, pretty much everything else. Season 1 through 7. Mm-hmm. Like, season 7... I really liked it. I know that some people didn't. I know that there's like more debate about that, but like you know, it's generally well liked, right?
Yeah.
I love season 7.
Like look at any of the ratings on the scoreboard. Like they're sitting at like 9.8, 9.6 through like the entirety of like season 7. Then by the time it comes out to like season 8, they definitely took a plummet. Like I think the last couple of episodes, they're rating at like 6.7 ratings.
Ooh, wow, I didn't know that.
Like it was. Yeah. They definitely.
I think season 6 was like my high point. Like that's like I really liked season 6.
Yeah.
And then like season 7, I was bummed because it was only like 8 episodes.
Oh yeah, that's.
And then now we're even less episodes. And like I don't know, man. Like look at what happened in the previous episode. Spoilers, by the way. Spoiler alert. You know, the last episode, Daenerys goes through and she just like burns the entire damn city down. And like. What? It's the second last episode. Like, who is the king of the throne or the queen of the throne? Like, what is going on? Like, the whole fucking city's burned down now.
They make like a foresight of that and all the memes and everything out there.
It's like, it was just a dream. Next episode, it was just a fucking dream.
The queen of ashes or whatever. Like,
yeah.
Like, that's not going to be me. I'm not my father.
If you look at, like, some of the things that, like, I forget what season, 1, 2, or 3, where she went into that maze.
The Vision.
The Vision, and, like, it was like they thought it was snow, and then they're paying off like a lot of foreshadowing from like a long time ago. But it wasn't snow; it was ashes.
Well, it's the same concept when Bran became like the Three-Eyed Raven itself, kind of for like the first time, and he kind of predicts into the future. He kind of made like another suggestion towards that too, where he actually saw King's Landing, and you see like a shadowing of the actual.
Yeah, and it was a dragon. It wasn't during the Mad King. It was during that episode, the last fucking episode.
Yeah, precisely. So like they kind of kept hinting towards little more and more ideas.
Yeah. It's crazy. I wonder if they just kind of like went back throughout the series and they're like, okay, well, where is all these like little foreshadows that we can like pay off? Like they left themselves they left themselves room to like do whatever the hell they wanted in the season, and then like I don't know. I don't know. Like for example, the entire series now, I'm like, all right, winter is coming. The whole problem with this entire show, the problem in this universe is that there are dead zombies that are marching to like kill everybody and take over the world or whatever. Like that's the main problem in this whole story. And then season 7 ends, and I'm like, damn, they got through the wall. They have a dragon now. Yeah. And then what was it? Episode 2 or 3 of the season? It was 3.
3. Yes.
Episode 3 hits. And like that whole battle sequence, like they had me until then. Like I was like, episode 1, this was kind of slow. Mm-hmm. Episode 2, I was like, all right, I'm ready for it. And then episode 3, the whole damn thing goes on. And like it was a big, great battle sequence, and like so much stuff happened, and it was all great and everything. But then just the way it ended, like just done. That's it, done.
It was funny too, just because how that actually happened and where she caught him in like the midsection, leading towards the heart with her little Valerian dagger.
Yeah.
It was funny because I was actually just watching the episode prior to that. It was when when the Hound actually had to pity kill like the farmer who was just kind of left out bleeding. This was like season 4, I think it was episode 5. So his farm was just raiding, so like they slashed him, like they like have a massive laceration on like his stomach, and he was like bleeding out, and he couldn't make it to his house. He was trying to get a drink. He was like, talking about, dying can be thirsty or whatever. And so he's like, why don't you just, try to kill yourself? He's like, I can't do that. Like, it goes against my morals and everything too. So he gives him like a sympathy kill. So he actually like stabs him in like the side with the dagger, exactly the same positioning and location as like Arya did to like the actual, the lead White Walker, whatever.
The Night King.
Night King, thank you. So after that happened, I don't know, I kind of just paid homage to that. And same concept, a little like knife trick she did exactly to the...
the whole thing, it just kind of, it happened fast, right? Yeah. Like why, they made this stupid plan that sounded idiotic in the previous episode, I think. And then like, all of this stuff happened. Like none of the main characters died. Everybody else is dying. There's all this stuff. All this crazy stuff is happening, and like somehow or another, like only a few of the main leads died, and they were like all taking on everybody. Like that was like super chaotic, and then finally it just ends. Like how did they even get to that point? Like these zombies were like massive, and like they just
like they came by the millions, because you got to keep in mind like how many people they.
No, it wasn't millions. Like... It was according to whatever. They were about 100,000.
Oh, hundreds?
100,000.
Because I was going to even say like...
They were slightly less on the living side.
Well, because like even like... what's his name? Tyrion? Tyrion, yes, thank you. Tyrion Lannister, he was even kind of quoting, like they were saying like how many people actually live in like King's Landing, and he was like, oh, there's like 1 million there. Because I would assume, because they actually had... years and years and years to actually build this army, because once again this is predating to the children of the forest, and also to the first men, of how they led up to the point of how they created this demon entity, this to kind of wipe out the first men, and then it turned on them as well, and like literally almost pillage the entirety of the world. And then from there they had to kind of like slowly push them back and back and back, and that's kind of when they came up with an idea, or a trade in this case, that the firstborn son, they'll go ahead and give him actual royalty to build his army, basically. And we'll do this, I don't know, yearly or what now. We'll give you a kid. And so he's been slowly building his army that way ever since.
Well, yeah, and killing people.
Like
and also
raising
the
dead
wildlings and stuff.
Yeah.
Just like anything ever died. Found a corpse and it's like, all right, here we go.
If anything ever came like past his way or whatever, he's like, okay.
Yeah, and like you think about that too. That's like dead people from like every generation, right? Yeah. Like the entirety of life on the planet could have replaced itself, and like he just like goes and takes them all. So yeah, in theory, but yeah, I don't know. It just seemed like such a weak battle. Like that was the payoff for like 8 seasons. I watched this show for like 10 years, and then they were like, just like, like a poorly planned, like he couldn't do it, like, and they didn't even explain it either. Like, was she using her, like, what's that face thing called? Like, was she using another face? Like, was she, like, mimicking a White Walker? Was she doing something? Like, what the hell was going on? Like, how did that happen? What the hell was Bran doing? He was, like, warged out the whole time. Apparently, the guy who played Bran was like, he was just, like, watching the battle from afar because that's all he could do. And it was like, are you kidding me? Everybody had all these, like, grand theories about how he could have been, like, warging into a dragon or did this or did that.
Well, that's what I thought, too. Like, I thought, because he had the capability of taking over, let's say, ravens and such like that. That's what I thought he was actually going to take over.
Or some shit.
Well, I thought he was actually going to take over the actual one of the fallen dragons, basically, and take that from the Night King and use that in battle. Plus, you had the concept as well as, like, when she... Because here's one thing that really caught me off guard, too, because, like, the whole theory of who is the Night King? Was he a Targaryen? Did he come from the actual Valyrian or whatever? Like, the actual enriched place where it's like a Targaryen? Because they talk about, like, how beautiful these people looked. And when the Children of the Forest did convert him in the first place... He was like this very handsome man. He was like strapped to a tree, shirt off, looked like Fabio hair. And so she like stabs him in the heart with this like Ordanza stone or the actual glass shard or whatever they use.
Dragon
glass, dragon glass.
Yeah.
And then so she like stabs him anyways, and you can see his eyes turn all blue and everything too. And that's kind of like the somewhat origin that was kind of given. It was just kind of like, I guess that was more or less fan theory made versus what's actual.
The fan theory was so good.
Yeah, it definitely stands out.
Like, I hope this is what happens.
It ties in quite a lot of like loose ends, and then it kind of based off from there. And then after that's kind of when the concepts happened when Dany was kind of standing above him with like the dragon. You thought it was all over, and she like does the whole Dakaris thing on him and blasts the fire and everything too. And he was just like standing there. He's like, I'm impervious.
Oh yeah.
He just brushes it off and he just goes straight to it again. And then that's when she kind of freaks out and she starts getting bombarded, and so she's like panicking, so she took off to go I don't know wherever, and then that's when her dragon got bombarded with all like the other like the people still alive or whatever, and on her dragon.
What about what do you think about like Viserion? I forget which dragon it was that died. The dragon that died, Rhaegal. Rhaegal, yeah, the dragon. Like she was flying in on there, and she had like no clue at all that there were boats there. Like that was such a misstep, right?
It was supposed to be like an ambush or something like that, with the Iron Fleet.
And then in the next episode, like none of that had anything to do. And I thought it was a brilliant strategy. I was like, as soon as that happened, and I was like, all right, well, she's definitely coming back in and taking this whole army out right now, even though like that's stupid.
Oh my god.
But she came in from the sun, and I was like, brilliant. And then she stayed low, and she kept going up and down, and it was like, that makes sense. Like, they can't get her if she's like high and low, because they have to move it up and down.
When they killed like the first dragon there, like there's honestly like one of my favorite memes of what I saw is like, when Dany comes in episode 5? Or is it episode 4 or whatever, when they first killed the dragon, and then how these guys are all looking like Hawkeye and like Black Widow, like they like dressed up as a meme or whatever. And so it's like Hawkeye shooting like this massive arrow that takes out the first dragon. It's like, in the next episode, and they're all like stormtroopers, like just like shooting.
Oh, that's hilarious. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
though.
It made me laugh so hard.
They replaced like.
I can give him the benefit of the doubt. Sure, she was on her dragon. She actually had full control. Like, she actually could move and maneuver it around, where the other dragon was just kind of like trying to weave like around, which it got pigged. Like, I don't know if it hit him in like the neck or the abdomen.
Yeah, it was like neck and then like
then he just got hit, and then he just like planted into the water.
That was like rough to see though, like because you're like rooting for the good guys, right? And they're like, we're gonna kill stuff. It's like, why not kill the most powerful entity in the show?
Very, very spontaneous. I'll give it that. Like,
I wasn't expecting it. For sure.
But like, I don't know. That's kind of my rationale reasoning of what might have happened with that, of why it happened. Just because it didn't have like a passenger. Sure, if Jon was on top of it, might have been safe. But Jon just learned how to ride this thing like a day ago anyway. So but I don't know. Like it's to be said, or if anyone would actually give some sort of little more detail of what happened.
Even if we can get past that, still like this second last episode, they're like ramping up the action and like.
Oh yeah.
So like, what do you think? How do you think this is gonna end? Like, what do you think is gonna happen?
Well, honestly, like I know,
I think everybody's
because like just like the facial expression on Jon and Tyrion as well.
Oh yeah, because they're like, what have we done?
They know that she can no longer live. Like that's what I feel like at this point. I was like, she's not gonna live at all. Like something's gonna happen. Whether it's going to be Jon himself, whether it's going to be Arya since she's all pissed off now.
Yeah, because like everybody's against Daenerys now too. You got Sansa, you got Arya. Jon is super conflicted. Tyrion is like, oh my god, what have I done?
Because like he told her ahead of time too, but everyone's like, oh, this
even
was expected.
Grey Worm.
This was expected.
Even Grey Worm.
He went all like badass just because Sunday whatever got like beheaded or whatever.
Yeah, like he was mad about that, but he was also like he made faces too. Like what am I doing? Like I'm killing these innocent people. This is why we were freed. This is like why. This is not what I signed up for, basically.
Like, even going down to it, she talked about like whoever supports that queen is not worthy of living, so she's gonna raise hell and fire and brimstone. And then
she also mentions like future generations will not know what it's like to live under a tyrant queen or whatever. And this is the current generation technically. So
like, is that a foresight mating leading to it? But like I don't know, with maybe her population repopulating everything, it's like we're just gonna know nothing but full bellies and freedoms. I don't know. That's kind of a quote from Thanos.
I just like I wonder because like I wonder how many of her own people she took out. I wonder how many Westerosi people are left. Like, I wonder all of these things, and like I guess we're gonna find out tomorrow. But I just like,
are we though? Are we? Or
is it gonna be like the Lost ending where they're just like, oh, we ran out of money, left, whatever.
They're in purgatory.
Yeah, it was all a dream after all. This is actually like present day. This is just some old guy's dream.
But like, because even going to the point too of sure what's gonna happen here. Is she gonna actually turn on Jon and be like? Because technically he's half Targaryen too, so he should have some.
Yeah, but he's also like the rightful heir or whatever, right?
Yeah, but you got to keep in mind he's like half Snow, half Targaryen, or not. I don't know.
Stark.
Like Stark. Thank you.
Yeah.
Half Stark, half Targaryen, and then leading to it. Let's say if she turns her dragon, she Dakaris him. She tries to like let him on fire. Does he have the impervious ability?
I don't know.
Like survive that?
That's one of the things people were talking about. Is if she turned on him.
It kind of teased it a little bit when like the actual Night King tried to do the same thing when. It was like before the scene Arya came in there and saved the day. It was like that dragon was like getting like wild up when he was like standing there with his sword.
Yeah.
And then
that was blue fire though. So
then, like,
they think that's different. Like I think people have talked about it and said it was different.
No, is it like the different like texture,
dead
tones,
fire, ice? Yeah, I don't know, dude.
Just tweaked elementals to have different fire.
Grass.
But yeah, because even going through that, like that's kind of like I guess one of the main things that are really going on my mind is just like
who do you think's going to take it though? I think Jon's going to get it now.
But I don't know.
I was rooting for Dany the whole fucking series.
Do you think because he made it clear in apparel that he doesn't want it, even if he gets it, he doesn't want it.
Yeah, but like that's the kind of king that they need, and everybody's going to put him up because like he was king of the North too, and he didn't want that either. Well, and he gave that up.
Sansa alone, she doesn't want to leave now like the North. She wants to kind of stay where she's at. It seems like her character
because there's always going to be a Stark in the North.
Yeah, there always has to be because Arya doesn't want anything to do with anything since she's like a lone ranger now and she just wants to do her own thing. And then I don't know, things might change because like even that scene with the Mountain and the Hound before he actually had that big battle, he's like, "Go home, get out of here. If you come with me, you're gonna die." And it kind of like touched her in a sense, and then she's like, "Thank you."
Well, because he knew that there was nothing that she was going to be able to do, and like she knew the Mountain too, right? Yeah. Like, and technically, like I don't know, she had her list, and I know that Sandor Clegane wasn't on his list anymore.
I guess it was like all forgiven or whatever.
And so it's like, they like, developed a friendship, right? Because like I think she kind of like saw where he was coming from, and she's like, he's just like me. Like they had so much in common, even though they didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, well, because even leading to we'll get back to the actual main fight too, because I was kind of I don't know how I felt about it. Like
I thought it was cool. I thought that was a neat battle scene. Like the cinematography was great.
We'll jump into it right now. I love the whole battle sequence itself, but like the whole process and everything too of it. I don't know, like it led to so much of character development for like the Hound. I kind of felt cheated that he then reversed all of his like findings that he learned throughout the whole series back to then I'm going to kill my brother.
Well, he knew he was going to die, right?
He knew it was going to happen, but
yeah.
He even made a quote, I guess it was like last season, where he's like, I'm going to die in this hellhole, or I'm going to die in this other place, or whatever.
He's foreshadowing.
Yeah, it was like another foreshadowing that you throw out there. And
he knew he was going to die, though, so like might as well like take his brother down with him, right?
But like the main concept here is just, the whole epilogue of rebuilding humility after he lost Arya, and then after he got his butt kicked by Brianna Toth.
Mm-hmm.
So after that happened, he was like literally dying there, and he kind of healed from his wounds, and he was adopted by these refugees or whatever, and they're just building homes and everything like that. And so, he became more sympathetic to their cause. He wanted to build more mercy on them and everything too. Then once they all completely got wiped out, like he lost his shit, he got his somewhat revenge back onto the people who did this to him. Then he was like, you know what, you guys handle the situation, when he ran into like the Lannisters that captured like the people. And so he allowed them to kind of do what they got to do, and then he took off to go find Arya again. And then like, he got captured to like the north and everything too, and that's when he goes to the whole wall and everything. But the whole epilogue leading up to his character development, it felt like that he lost his moment when he had his like first time one-on-one confrontation with his dead brother, when he was actually presenting the corpse to Khaleesi at the very first time to prove that these White Walkers are real. And he was like, look at you, like you're dead now, but I guess we don't really have anything else in common now. And then
I kind of think that he like always was like the same person. He was just kind of like, he adapted to his situations or whatever.
But
I don't know if he felt cheated though. Like, I don't know that was his entire plan throughout like the whole series was to like kill his brother. I knew he hated his brother, but I don't know. I didn't feel cheated by it. If anything, like, let's give him credit for like one thing here. But if I had to pick like one thing out of season 8 so far that I don't feel cheated on, it's Clegane.
Clegane. Oh my god, everyone built it up so high.
Yeah, and like it happened.
Honestly,
it happened.
Give or take with the whole story behind it. It's just like that's the story bit about it. Like I felt a little bit cheated with it. The actual fight sequence and everything leading to it. Sure, I'm happy that it happened and everything.
And they both died in a fire.
It was very exciting to watch, and he realized the only way to kill his big bitch is to throw him over, and we're both going over if that's happening. Because like it was kind of like a fight
he wasn't going to
live. Yeah. Because he was trying to do the same like eye gouging he did to like the Red Viper. And
oh man, I was like, how is he still having some eyes after that? Like you can still see. It was like underneath his eyes.
Because it was like I think his eyelids. Because like that's when he was like struggling to open his eyes, and you just seen it just open, and like you just kind of watch like the actual blood and everything.
What do you think about like Cersei and Jaime's death? I feel that's what I feel cheated about.
A lot of people had so much backlash for it. Like, I don't know how I feel. Like, it's...
Like, that's it. Like, it redeemed Cersei a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, please, like, don't let it happen like this.
Like, don't
and, like, Jaime, you're kind of like, why is it happening like this?
Yeah.
And, like, for Cersei, you're like, well, why do I feel bad for her, right? And it's like, she realized, like, how bad she messed up now. Like, all of the decisions she's made in the last, like, however many episodes of Game of Thrones, like, came all back to bite her in the ass. And people were telling her the whole time that, hey, this is how it's going to happen. And she was just like, nah.
Well, because, like, even, like, leading to it as well, I knew, like... You knew at one point he was going to go back. Like, that's kind of what I felt, regardless of not. I felt like he was going to go back, whether or not to fight with them, but I knew he was going to be, like, intervening somehow with, like, the characters, whether he's going to, betray Dany, she was going to have him killed in front of Tyrion or something like that, but I knew he was going to try and go back to save his sister, because that's all what he's always done. Like, there was no difference between it, even though how, like, evil and sadistic she is. It just got to the point where... It just came repetition at this point where I felt, and after I was like, okay, whatever, he's going to go back. But after the collapsing and everything happened, I'm just like, I don't know if I feel satisfied as of yet. But, yeah. Like it was okay, I guess, for the storyline. But I wanted something else to happen, though. Like, it felt like something should have happened.
They could have made it more dramatic, right? Like, Jaime could have killed Cersei, or something could have happened, or like something more dramatic instead of just like, I don't want it to happen like this, and everybody feels bad for her, and then she dies, right? It's like that's the last thing we remember of her was like, oh, she wasn't so bad, or whatever. Like she,
made a little bit of,
and then you're so conflicted because like Jaime, one of like the, one of the bestest characters, I guess, like. He also went back to her too, right? And like everybody liked Jaime, or not everybody, but Jaime redeemed himself a long time ago.
After fighting side by side, and he's like knighting
and like you had all these like emotional
Toth,
Jamie scenes, and then he like goes back and like he tries to like pull Cersei back because look what happened in that episode, right? You have Daenerys, who's like pure evil at this point, just killing innocent people. Everybody on her team is looking around like, what is this? Like, this isn't what I signed up for. Yeah. And you have Cersei, and you feel bad for her, right? Like everybody now, I'm so conflicted about Dany because like she had a good cause, she had a good motto, everybody was behind her, all the fans were behind her and stuff, and then now she's like evil. She's the Mad Queen. Yeah. And there were flashbacks to that because like when the dragon was going around, like there were little poofs of green everywhere or whatever. And
with the
she has a dragon though. She doesn't need green fire. She has a dragon. So yeah.
I was trying to remember what the actual there's like specific name to the little green fire that
wildfire.
Wildfire. Yes,
something like that.
Yeah. I think that was a wildfire.
That stuff. So there wasn't a lot of it, but
I wonder if they actually had it like in stores somewhere, like in the ground still. Why it was actually kind of happening?
That's why
she thought
because it was hidden everywhere, all over the castle. Like that, the Mad King like kind of just made stores of it everywhere. That's where they got it from because they used it all in season 1. Yeah. And then when they blew up the cathedral with all the nobles in it,
was that like season 3?
Season 6 or 5? 6.
Was it? Like...
No, 7. That was season 7. That was last season. Yeah, where they blew up the cathedral.
Yeah, because I know
they put all the wildfire underneath there,
and that's what kind of caused her kid, I guess, at that point.
Kill himself. Yeah, because
little feminine one. Yeah.
Because his wife.
Because like, he really
died.
Loved her and everything too, and that's when he like, signed up with.
I think she liked him too. She was like 10 years older than him.
He was a king at the end of the day, so whatever.
Yeah.
That's kind of what happened there. So she would have entitlement. That's the same concept, I guess, like mindset that like Sansa has, that she was eager for power. She just wants to be worshipped. Yeah. So I'm not sure if the actual other girls still had that same.
Well, like, none of them are left.
I remember she was like really cute, but
Oh yeah.
She was like really adorable. It was just like her eyes and everything too, and like her cheeks. I don't know, it just really stood out.
She's hot. I forget what it was. There was a casually explained episode, and they used her as like a measurement of heat. And like,
there you go.
She's hot.
Yeah. But yeah. So anyways, the fight sequence itself, it was great. It was like I loved it. Same concept with like the collapsing with Jaime and everything that happened with like the castle and everything too, and like how even Tyrion was trying to give them a little bit more assistance because he knew too that at the end of the day he was gonna go back to her. So he's like, listen. I already had everything planned up for you. This is what you have to do. Just make it there and go.
Oh, yeah.
And then, because he had the boat, raft, and everything waiting for you. He's like, just sail off to this such and such island. You guys can live there. She can have her kid. You guys, no one will ever know you guys are there. And then probably later on down the road, and you get you more established with whatever afterwards. But then that's when he runs into, was it like, I can't remember his name, like Erwin or whatever the guy's in. The other Greyjoy.
Oh yeah.
The Uncle Greyjoy.
Oh shit! I can't remember everybody's name.
The whole fight sequence happened between them, and then he was all proud of himself because like he shanked him twice in the side of the ribs, and he's like, "I just killed the Kingslayer," and he's all happy with himself. Euron. Yes.
Yeah, and then Daenerys killed him.
Oh no. No.
Yeah, he was alive, dude. Maybe at some point.
What? No, he wasn't, because I think he died after, because Jaime like stabbed him in the stomach with.
No. Yeah. Euron died, but like he said, like I killed the Kingslayer because he got him in the side a couple of times, right? But he didn't kill the Kingslayer.
Oh no! I was talking about
Daenerys did.
I was talking about Euron, who like.
Yeah, Euron,
whatever his name is. Euron, whatever. I was talking about his death, basically, because I was talking about how Jaime killed him, and then, it was a kind of blow-for-blow trade type of situation, because he was, like, sitting on, like, the edge of a rock with, like, a knife embedded into him, like, he, like, stabbed him.
He, like, twisted that.
Yeah. Stabbed, twist, pulled.
So, yeah. I don't know. Tomorrow's episode's gonna be exciting.
Yeah, so it's so much open-ended questions.
Yeah, so many open. I wonder how they're gonna tie it up. It better be like 2.5 hours long. It better be like a feature-length film.
I think they said it. I don't know. Is it gonna be 80 minutes again, like the other ones? Because I know the whole fight sequence. And like,
sure. I'll take 80 minutes. I want more though.
I'll take it, but yeah. It's not like they're gonna really get too much with it. Because I know also they were talking about like. I don't even know how I feel. Like, okay, put it in this perspective. Did you think that it should have been kind of the other way around, where this burning of King's Landing should have happened first before the whole fight of the White Walkers, or do you think that would be relevant?
That's what I thought. Yeah. I thought we were gonna like. No, I don't know actually. Now that I think about it, because like they wouldn't have been able to do one without the other. And Cersei was banking on them losing a bunch of people to the White Walkers.
Yeah, so she can try to capitalize.
Cause it wouldn't have been as equal, right?
She paid for like the Esso fight, like the fighters, the whatever guys, the Golden Army from Essos.
Yeah.
And then how she paid for them. And she's like the whole memes of, where's my elephants? Where's my elephants?
Yeah. Well, yeah. It was kind of funny because the bank, they weren't going to do it. And then she was like, I'll pay off all my debt. And they're like, oh, sure. Because like, now she still owes them like, $1 million. Yeah. But they were like, who cares? Like, you paid us off. Like, we're good to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for the finale tomorrow. I guess because we'll have to talk about it next week.
Oh my god! Like, cause even the concept too of even talking about. Have you seen the actual like the characters when they were doing like one-on-one interviews and everything? Like, I'm sure there's like thousands.
They're all like bummed out.
They were trying to like play it off like it was like a joke, just like oh yeah, I
it's terrible.
I thought this season was just god awful, and they're like. No, just kidding. It's fine. It's
great. Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. I wish it wasn't ending. I wish they didn't have to rush it. I wish we got like full season, but whatever.
But there is that
6 episodes, man.
I was gonna say there is that chance of the petition actually working.
The petition's not gonna work. Reshoot this like $60 million episodes.
Yeah, well, because
how much did they spend?
It wasn't like 50 something million dollars on that one episode of the actual fight with the king.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I think it was like 50 something million. They actually
that's nuts.
Dropped down.
They always try to like get their Oscar one in though. Like,
that would probably be it for like the best
cinema, whatever, longest battle scene,
whatever.
Yeah,
because they even mimicked it. It was like, it's supposed to be something like that of the relevance of
the Battle of Helm's Deep.
Helm's Deep of Lord of the Rings. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were talking about that and the whole even singing segment they had and everything too. As you can, if you listen to it, it's actually like the harmony of the actual.
Oh yeah, I didn't even
Pippin's
think about that.
Like singing speech of like the first like chorus or whatever he sings. It's exactly.
I like the Lord of the Rings one better. That was so good though. That episode. Yeah.
Well, there's no like. Really
once this season's done, I'm gonna like go and rewatch it all like. Just all at the same time, like, oh wait, it wasn't terrible.
I think it's just like we have an expectation that we're holding that they kind of hold to, but then again, at the end of the day, when we're watching and observing it, we don't really even know what we want at this point. And
I just want it to be done.
It's a lot easier just to bash it, like, they should have done this, they should have done this after it's all over. Because once again, going into it, you don't have a firm expectation of what.
Plus, like group mentality too, right? Everybody else says it's bad, so you're not.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think it's bad necessarily. I just think that like they're kind of doing some things that they shouldn't be doing and doing other things that they should be.
You got to keep in mind too. It's a little bit rushed. I'll give it that, but you have to because nobody else wanted to do this for another 4 seasons. And they're just like let's continue on with their lives because it's taken a big portion of them, for them to shoot it, to cast it. Like they would even have to do like segments where they would have like a cash, like half the cast go here to shoot some BS segment that's not even in the show, just so like publicity and like. The paparazzi's focus on this while we're actually shooting this and this is going on. It's just like a lot of like play that's happening here that's kind of intervening and it gets tiresome after a little while. And plus, didn't the actual directors, the ones currently shooting season 8, well, I'm pretty sure it's the same people, but didn't they get cast for a remake or some sort of like, is it the new Star Wars that they're doing?
Really?
Yeah, they got recast to actually do Star Wars. Like I'm not sure if another 3 movie set or something like that. But yeah, they're going to be taking over the Star Wars series after.
Oh.
So that's why everyone's like kind of laughing, making jokes.
Like, you did a pretty good job messing this up. We're going to hire you on for Star Wars.
Well, it was like everything to this point because I think it was, once again, it was the same people leading up to this whole point. And they did such a great job that, they're like, okay, we want you now to start doing this. So everyone's like, maybe they're more focused on this project versus actually finalizing what we should have had here, and everyone's like bashing on the writers and everything too. But once again, it's definitely hard to please
everybody,
like the millions and millions of people that actually enjoy it and watch it because like it's it's broken into 3 parts now at this point. It's just like people think it's a no opinion.
I think the people who look into it a lot and like the super nerds and like the hardcore fans, like they don't like things. Like when something isn't perfect and they're like nitpicky or whatever. But, for the like, for example, I was never a Star Trek fan until I started watching the new movies. And I don't know if there's been like a lot of backlash on those movies at all. Yeah. But like, I really like them. And like, I knew nothing about Star Trek.
Because I think like the actual new movies versus
they're probably meant to be for like more people rather.
Yeah, because they're more modernized and generalized to the moderate public now versus as to try and captivate new audience to actually watch the new
cool.
products.
It worked on me, right?
Yeah,
like I didn't like Star
exactly.
Trek, and like now I like look into it. I watched the animated series.
Because if you jump back to, let's say, like Next Generation, I guess that was like kind of one of their Voyager, Next Generations, like those were like the main like kind of popular ones at that point in time. It was a specific type of person who would actually enjoy that. It wouldn't be like every day now. If you enjoyed the new stuff, there might be a slim chance that you do enjoy the older generations, but guarantee, like, you're just gonna say, like, what is this garbage?
Yeah.
It's just because.
Have you watched the animated series Star Trek?
I actually didn't even know they had an animated
series. It's on Netflix, dude. You gotta check it out. There's like 3 seasons of it, and it's so good.
Does it have a timeline of when it was supposed to be based, or is it just kind of?
It's like the 60s. Okay, so they released the first like 3 seasons of Star Trek, and then all of the cast came in and reprised their role.
Oh, so it's like
Shatner and like
Shatner version.
Yeah,
it's
like everybody. It's so good. Watch it.
Oh, they couldn't get like Leonard Nimoy was like William Shatner.
Everybody's in there. It was this happened at the same time as like.
So it is kind of older then. Okay,
we'll look it up. Yeah, it's
so I was gonna say because
so good.
Well, no, like the animated stuff, because I was gonna say because like Leonard Nimoy died like a few years ago or whatnot, and so like they
only did 3 seasons of it too, which is so unfortunate because like man, I love watching the 3 seasons, but like you can only watch it so many times before it's like repetitive, like too repetitive. But yeah, it's the same kind of wonky like space adventure, going off to weird planets in alternate dimensions and whatever. Like it's so cool. I would definitely watch it.
Yeah, because I've been
definitely check that out. That is a great show. I can't believe you didn't know that. It's just
new. Yeah, I honestly didn't.
So good.
That's crazy because I don't even know when the last like Netflix special I watched. Like I was trying to get into that. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just, I don't know if I have the time or if it's just, like, sheer laziness that I just can't get involved.
Too lazy to watch Netflix.
Yeah, it got to that point where I'm just, like, I just can't do it. Like, it's just, like, I'm, like, doing work or going to the gym or something like that. And just, it's not that I don't have the time. It's just, like, I can't, like, I
focus?
I'm never focused or satisfied.
It's good. Like, I used to watch that before bed.
Yeah.
And, like, I'd watch a couple episodes, pass out, and then just pick up where I left off.
I think the last season that I actually really saw of anything, it was, like...
Game of Thrones season 8.
That of course, but there's like Netflix. Was it like 13 Reasons Why or something?
Oh dang! I never even watched that. That's a while ago though. That's like a year ago.
Like I didn't even get to the I watched I think like maybe 10 minutes of the first episode to kind of find out what it's about, and then just stopped for like a year, and then I heard a season 2 came out, so I watched like maybe equivalent to of a half hour in like season 2 somewhere, and then. I don't know, it's just kind of recapping of what happened on season 1, but that was kind of the last information, but like I know next to nothing about the season, just the drama that all happened from it, like the whole
season 1, yeah, I just like didn't watch it, like everybody else was watching, and I was like I'm just gonna...
It seemed like everyone like really, really like loved it, if you know what it was, but it just seemed like a dramatization of like the whole like suicide aspect is like, oh, I don't know.
What?
Go ahead and give us a sign off.
I don't know. All right, well, that was an hour of me and Steve talking, mostly about Game of Thrones. We got off on like a wild tangent there.
A sort of like a 40-minute tangent of like Game of Thrones, and we even like barely even cover much. Like there's still
we like about. We barely got in.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, I'm Jon Snow, and we'll see you next week.
Take care.
Cool. Oh yeah, Melisandre stripped nude.
What?
Yeah, I'm like looking at the biggest what the fuck moment when Melisandre stripped.
Oh, that's amazing.